Hello, it's Jimmy here again at O'Reilly's, and we are looking at a Citroen van here. So let's have a look inside the van, see if we can start it up. So he's got no power, check engine, that smoke sign comes up, keep the vehicle running, which obviously he has tried doing, keep the engine moving, keep the vehicle moving, sorry. So on these particular vans here, you've got to unscrew this little panel here to get to the OBD port. Okay, now we've got that off, we can get our OBD plugged in. Now we'll run the diagnostics on the vehicle here. So what I'm using here is the Launch Euro Tab 2 there. We're going to run a diagnostic scan. Now this vehicle has been at a couple of auto centres and they've said that they couldn't fix the problem and that it is just a DPF problem, but obviously we're going to find out, is it just a DPF problem or is there anything else? Well, it just needs a DPF clean, they said, which is rarely ever the case. There's always something else hidden behind what's causing the problem usually, but I do know that this vehicle is used as like sort of like a stealth camper, so it may be the case that he's just sorry, the screen's gone a bit off blur there. Maybe a case that he's just been sitting there idle like a lot of camper vans do. Okay, so we're in and we are gonna click on the engine ECU and scan that. Read defaults, particle filter driving conditions for the regeneration not met or not fulfilled. Particle filter driving conditions not fulfilled. So basically what that's going to mean is he's been driving it on too short of journeys, or he's been sat here idling constantly, so the DPF has not been able to regenerate. And of course now it's obviously at a point where, you know, it's gone so far that it doesn't matter how much driving you do, it's not fixing it, because of course he's already tried that. Sorry, my screen keeps sort of blurring out there. So I'm going to click on the data stream here. And we're just going to find some of the things that we're going to want to check. Sut loading, DPF pressure, voltage from the particle filter differential pressure sensor. Well, let's just kick all of these because they're all sort of relative. Might need to wait for that to load a second. So it looks like none of these are loading up, and this is a Euro 6 vehicle. Again, I had a similar issue with a Ford Mondeo recently. A lot of these Euro 6s, they're purposely blocking you out of the diagnostics, so it has to go back to their dealership, but I'm going to see if I can figure out a way around this. So this is the code there, we've got P1490, and if we clear the code it won't clear, of course. Need to switch the ignition back on. You can see there, as soon as we either go back and read the code or we just start the engine for a second, it will come back. So if we check it again, the code will be back. There we go. So just having a look underneath here, and you can see there he's recently had an aftermarket DPF put on. And I don't know what's going on here because everything seems to be mangled up a little bit. I'm not sure why that's like that. It's obviously been rubbing there on the pipe and cutting through that. So let's just move that back out the way. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I've pulled off the tube here for the differential pressure sensor. I'm going to connect up my own manometer onto it to get a reading. Okay, so I've got my manometer connected up there. Now I'm going to start the vehicle. So I've got 50 millibars on idle, and we'll accelerate it up a bit, see where it goes. Just accelerate that up to about 2. Well, it only goes to 1800 RPM, so we'll see where it is at 1800. $160. So we seem to be having some errors with the connectivity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and go back to one of the older software updates. Oh, yeah, I need to pick that. So we need to go. I'm going to just go back to the old software and see if that works. Maybe the new software has got some sort of, it's missed out something, or it's got some sort of bug at the moment. But I'm going to try the older software on the Citroen, see if that works. So we're going to go back into searching the vehicle again. So there we are, Citroën Jumper Relay, Euro 5, Euro 6. I think this actually is a Euro 5 because it hasn't got AdBlue from what I'm looking at underneath. Let's go in here again. We're going to go to the particle filter information. We're going to just select all of those, press OK. We'll start the vehicle up. Now I seem to be getting some connectivity there, that's a bit better. Okay, yeah, we've got 0 millibars because obviously I've got the pipe disconnected, so I'll go back under and connect that back up again. So the pipe's connected back up, and then we've got exactly what was on the manometer, around 50 millibars. And if we accelerate it up, it doesn't really go very far, maybe 1800 RPM, 160 millibars. Alright, so we'll let go of that accelerator. Right, so 18 grams of soot, it says down the bottom there. Pressure there is very high, especially at idle. 50 millibars is quite high for an idle. Travel, it's done 131,000 since it's had it's done 123,000 miles. I don't know where it's getting that calculation from. And it's definitely had a DPF in the last 6 months, even though a very cheap aftermarket one. It's already rusting. Okay, so we're going to activate now the dosing pump. So let me go back. So we are on special function, replacement parts. I need to find the right one, hang on a minute. Differential pressure sensor, diesel injection, yep. Oh, I need to turn the engine off. Okay, so at the minute I'm back under the van. I'm just going to disconnect the fuel line from the vaporizer. I'm just going to test if that's blocked. So I've got this here Medivac MV8500. I'm just going to connect that up straight to the fuel line on the vaporizer there. Now we're just going to test if it's building up any pressure. And it doesn't seem to be building any pressure, which is a good sign, so it's not blocked. Okay, so we know the vaporizer is not blocked, and we've tested the pressure with the manometer and the live data, which is high. So we're going to put some of these away now, and we'll carry on with just cleaning the DPF. Now this van having the same 2.2 TDCI that's fitted to the Ford Transits. This is the particular engine that made us switch fluids. So we're going to go inside and get the fluid ready. And we're going to use some of the Launch UK fluid again. And we're going to use some deionized water with that. We're going to mix it up 50-50. We'll get that ready. So we'll get the fluid poured in there. I'll do 50% of each. It's a diluted mix, 50% water, 50% fluid. So we've got both the water and the fluid in there now. We can put the lid back on and we'll get it ready to pump in. Okay, so we connected up the tube here onto the differential pressure hose, and this is the hose that goes before the DPF, not after. Now we've got it all connected up here. Just going to squeeze the trigger, get the fluid pushed in there, and you can probably hear the compressor noise coming on in the background there because it is connected to a compressor. So we're going to pump all of this fluid in there. But what you can do is pump half the fluid in, let it sit for 20 minutes, then start the engine and push the rest of the fluid in while the engine's running. Okay, so now we're going to come out and we're going to leave that sit for 20 minutes. So while we're waiting here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the van it's had a new DPF and clear the codes, which should temporarily allow us to get rid of the warnings and hopefully let us increase the revs a bit as well, and then we can carry on with getting it flushed out. So now it's complete. We just need to press OK. Now we should be able to clear this code. Clear. So just need to wait for it to count down. Now that's done. Code is gone. So let's see if we start the vehicle up, does the code come back straight away? But we have got the DPF pressure sensor disconnected, don't forget, sorry. Let's see if we can increase the revs further than it was. Yep. So that'll allow us to blast it out there. It's going to push the fluid out a lot better if we can get higher revs. It's done a little bit of squirting action there. So we're going to go back under now while the vehicle's running, and we're going to get the rest of that fluid into the exhaust system. Squeeze the gun there, let that flow all the way in. And then come out over here. So now all of that fluid is gone, we can see there's just air going in. So we can let go of that. And then we can disconnect this from here. And I've just pulled it off. Look at the nasty stuff that's coming out of it. Can't even see my torch. So now that that's done dripping, we'll connect it back up. Now we can get actually full revs. We'll see what the high revs are, see what it is at 4 or 3,500 RPM, see what the pressure is. This is the one we're looking at here. So this is what's coming out. So we're back inside the van again, and we'll have a look at the live data again. You can see there we're still dropping. Okay, we're down to 62 millibars. Let's let go of the accelerator. And we are currently on 11 millibars on idle. Idling slightly high at the minute though. I think it's obviously it still needs a little bit of time for it to work through, so it's going to get lower again. So now we can give the customer one of these. It's a DPF flow restore. So what this does is goes into the fuel tank, and after the DPF's been cleaned, once you start driving the vehicle, above the DPF where we haven't cleaned, you know, your inlet manifold, all of that, it's going to have soot in there, and now all of that soot is going to start making its way back down to the DPF. So by having this in the tank after the clean, it's going to help burn off all of that excess soot that does actually make its way back down to the DPF. Now I need to clean up my torch. So final result there, 46 millibar on 3000 RPM. Let the accelerator go. We're down to 10. That will slowly decrease as you now drive it. So let's return out of the live data. Just make sure there's no trouble codes, which there's not. And that's it, we are done. Okay, so I've had a chat with the customer about the causes that may be causing this. Now there is only just the DPF blockage. It doesn't say that the conditions are incorrect, but he has in the last week had the van at a garage who have replaced the glow plugs, and they've done other work to it. A fuel injector, he said there was a fuel injector that wasn't working, and the glow plugs. So maybe that was behind the issue, and obviously those problems are gone now. The garage said that they couldn't deal with the DPF, so he said he was having a bit of trouble trying to find someone who could do it. Right, so that's it. We'll get back. So that's it. We are all finished on the Citroën Relay. See you next time.